Metafix is a show that teaches you how to think in the metagame. I am not here to give you the answers, nor am I going to tell you how to win. Metafix teaches you how to play in the metagame and how to react around the metagame and what is in the metagame. If you're looking for the answers, try HC Realms, check the forums, they have all kinds of neat toys and tools and teams being brought up, and check the results of a lot of the ROC tournaments or any Worlds tournaments to see how teams played out and what teams were used for. I'm just here to help you think. It's Metashift time. It's an X-Men set release, guys, and this week we're going to talk about the figures that are most likely to be seen in the metagame and quite possibly to see the most use going into the future with the Uncanny X-Men set. So, Uncanny X-Men adds a number of variety figures to the plethora of what already exists in the game. Quite a bit of it is interesting to say the least. It's a very strange set in the way that it was built. There's a lot of low point stuff, but there's also a balance in the realm of the higher point ideas. Overall, it's a great, fun set to play, both in sealed and constructed. So let's talk about what we're expecting to see in the constructed environment. Starting, of course, in the Fast Forces with Miss Jean Grey. This one's an obvious one. She has no action tokens. You can use TK as free action. So carrier. Then free action TK. She's got willpower. That one's self-explanatory. I mean, the extra mobility of a support character like that who can just free action telekinesis can definitely go a long way towards making your team go. In addition, in the support realm, we have characters like Vanisher. Nothing better than a character with no restrictions as far as being able to carry multiple characters. He can carry 3, and there's no, like, of course there's regular carry restrictions, but there's no restrictions on keywords or anything like that, which is usually the thing you run into. So look to Vanisher for high mobility on teams where you need to be based, like poison teams, especially in the limited format. I can see a couple teams that would do fantastically with the Vanisher. Also in the realm of support characters, the 50-point Storm. 50 points adds free action, Smoke Cloud, and Perplex. And she's stealthy and she has the X-Men team ability. But most importantly is free action Smoke Cloud. The best kind of Smoke Cloud. Because nobody wants to take an action to use a Smoke Cloud. Also in the low realm, Riptides. They're good. And they will get in your face and splash some pulse waves on you. Expect to see these guys in your face and in multiples in the future of the metagame. And if you're going to be using them, that's also a good idea too. They get a long reach out of that pulse wave, and because they do 1 damage, you don't mind getting them in a group of a bunch of guys. You're not really trying to line up single target pulse waves with the Riptide. We also have a character named Magneto, and that is a 50-point Magneto. We saw him previewed many months before the set. He has Sidestep, TK, Energy Shield with Willpower as his defense power, but he's also got a once per game where he can use Running Shot. So once you've Sidestepped, once you've TK'd, then you can even pull off a Running Shot, and if you are so patient, you can wait a couple clicks where he has Pulse Wave. Overall, a really great figure that is going to see play. And oddly enough, he's Brotherhood of Mutants and detective keywords. I don't know where the detective portion comes from, but it doesn't matter because there's a number of good detectives in the game that will really team up well with him. What other characters are going to be expected to make some noise? There's a lot of disruption in this game. Kitty Pryde is going to make a lot of people just upset. I'm going to call her at this point, what did I call her? Phantom Girl 2.0? Now, she doesn't shut off resources, but she can make a single attack against everybody she passes through, and if anybody she hits takes an action token. That's disruption on the level of Mr. Mixed Pitlick. Let's not kid ourselves. The only difference, of course, being that her 10 attack is what you're going to be seeing, but in the constructed game, there's ways around that. Of course, we're going into the flash forward meta with this set. At the time of filming, we haven't quite shifted there yet, and we do South Canadian Nationals coming up, but if you're to look forward on that, there's still quite a bit that can make her attack value go up and help you get that going. I look to Perplex and other such things. Also in the Clear, Shiny, and Disruption, Professor X is going to make a little bit of noise in both the limited and the standard constructed format because there's a lot of equipping going on in both. Equipping, of course, being the new standard for possession, as characters or equipped characters actually become equipped items, and Professor X, by being adjacent, turns them off. He also comes with an 18 defense and 11 movement with phasing, which means he's going to get there, and sometimes all he needs to do is get there the once to do the damage that you need to do with this character. So, I would expect Professor X for those single turn shutoffs that you just need at the right time. Next on the list of I want to point out that every single character that I've just mentioned, with the exception of Kitty Pryde, is on 50 points or less. So this is stuff that's going to get just thrown into teams. And that includes characters like Mystique, the rare. Don't expect her to get attacked, and expect her to disrupt formations in the best possible way with her Freedom Force trace. The fact that she doesn't get locked down by things like plasticity or other characters makes her very, very acrobatic in the way she does that. Pushing characters who are using stealth out of bushes and throwing them off of buildings, whatever you need. Mystique is probably going to be doing that level of disruption, in addition to the fact that she adds some sidestep to get out of the way, and she can't be targeted unless you start adjacent to her. So Mystique is going to be that character messing with your positioning. Also at the 50-point value, we do have Sunfire. Now, I don't. Unfortunately, trades haven't been completed, and I'm still waiting to get my hands on the rare Prime. But the rare himself is also a really good one. 50 points, running shot, pulse wave, 3 damage, 17 defense with energy shield. Again, that's only a 50-point figure. 120 points for the Prime is also another figure who's going to be making noise. Also named Sunfire, the Chase. The Chase is another bargain. Like, Sunfire in this set seems to be that character who you don't pay a lot for to get a lot for. The Chase is a little soft in the number of clicks he has, but his defense is quite high to start and gets a little high towards the end of his dial. So you can't play recklessly with Sunfires, but you can do a ton of damage with them. Out of in the realm of playing a little recklessly, we do have 2 characters who are surprisingly tough and are possibly candidates. Can't believe I'm going to use these words. Candidates for the Rock of Eternity. Excuse me. Threw up in my mouth a little. And those are Emma Frost and Juggernaut. Now, the reason both these guys really stand out as candidates for that item, Juggernaut's helmet, which gives him willpower, makes him immune to outwit, makes him immune to mind control and psychic blast, which are generally weaknesses of characters of his toughness level, means that he doesn't suffer from a lot of the problems that a lot of characters who you'd want to be getting the Rock of Eternity will suffer from. So get him out there, and even then, once you've got the Rock of Eternity in flow, you can, as long as you're showing one of the relics with combat reflexes on that dial, you've got yourself a 20 defense in close combat, which is going to make it harder for them to get the helmet off. And at range, 20 defense, if you have one of those relics showing, can go a long way. And some of them show up at the same time as the Sloth relic, so you can get up to 21 defense on this Juggernaut. And then you can start just running through your opponent's characters, because that's what this Juggernaut does. So, prime candidate for the Rock of Eternity. Also a possibility is Emma Frost, because the point in which you're trying to pick up the pieces for the Rock of Eternity is early game, and every game of Heroclix starts at range. So the fact that even if she is susceptible to Psychic Blast, she's still only taking 1 damage from it at a time, means she's pretty safe at range to go collect all those pieces for the Rock of Eternity and make it work for her. So those are 2 characters that can actually, can't believe I'm saying these words, make the Rock of Eternity viable again. Mostly because, as I've said a number of times, characters who use the Rock of Eternity are best if they can survive a couple turns to go pick up the pieces. Worth noting, WizKids loves characters named Magneto. The rare and even the Chase have some standout elements to him. The Chase being able to make up to 3 attacks in a turn, which, if you really consider it, is absolutely insane. The rare stands out a little more because he's lower points, He's got energy shield to boot with the ability to give somebody else's energy shield, and he only takes up 90 of your points. So Magneto could be one of those guys that's you put on the team to start, and he's already pretty good. Add a couple things to him, and he's going to stand out a little more. Who else is in here that's really standout-ish? Well, those are the ones that really stand out as far as definite plays in the metagame. Though I wouldn't count out Stonewall as an element for disruption in most teams. For 70 points, you do get a high defense, a really high attack for 70 points, 3 damage, and plasticity. And he can be carried, and he's also really hard to knock around. So he's one of those stable parts of the positioning game that can laugh off Mystique. I like her. I want to like her more, but we'll see. We do have the 75-point Scarlet Witch. She's, of course, probability control. And there is there's always a thing where there's a Scarlet Witch in the meta who is going to do a lot of what she does. And in this case, it's probability control and enhancement to start, and some late dial attacking. She does have 7 range. This one is a little bit more offensive than most Scarlet Witches we're used to. But we'll see how she goes in the game. The fact that she's got the Avengers Unity Division can help out in a pinch if you do have a character with the X-Men team ability and you need some emergency healing. Now, the character we've all been talking about for about a month and a half, 2 months now. Iceman. He's good. And in Constructed, he's going to be very good. He lacks willpower. We all know ways of giving somebody willpower. I'm pretty sure when I said that, 3 people chimed in and said the Wrath Relic. I mean, that's just the first one that comes to mind. That'll also give him combat reflexes to go with his 18 defense. This is a character that's going to do well for the sole fact that he can attack in a single turn 3 characters and put action tokens or stall them out. Allow me to explain. You make a running shot move through character A, shoot 2 other guys, and then make a close combat attack against character A. Character A is now ice token, while the other 2 guys, regardless of how you split up the damage, are each going to take an action token so long as you hit. So I've attacked 3 guys, given out 3 action tokens, and stalled 1 out. Now, if we're talking back to that Wrath token ability, also that second attack, the extra attack that Iceman does, doesn't replace his damage value. Doesn't say it doesn't deal no damage. So we dealt 3 damage in the first attack, 2 damage in the second because of the depleting damage modifier. If we go to where we give him the Wrath Relic and you put yourself in that such a position, you sidestep now over somebody, and then you can attack them. Possibly do 1 damage, but most important, you add that extra action token because his ability triggers on attacks, and you add that Ice Block. So now I've Ice Blocked 2 guys, added action tokens to 4 guys in a total single turn. And that's just because I found a way to give him sidestep somehow. Even without the sidestep, the ability to stall out 3 characters and do as much damage as he can possibly do, or as he does, is absolutely nuts. Let's not lie to ourselves. So, another couple honorable mentions, Pixie. The ability to carry multiple characters once again, though she's a little bit more locked down to get 4 of them with, or she's allowed to carry them if they have flight, and you can carry 4. She has X-Men team ability, and she has Perplex. Another good character, but she comes in at 75 with Mystics. Both are really good, but Vanisher you're likely to see more because he splashes into any team and works with all forms and situations. Yeah. So that's in a nutshell what we're expecting to see out of the Uncanny X-Men. Quite a handful of characters that we've seen out of this set that are going to be making a ton of noise, and expect no less out of this set than quite a few of those figures making it onto teams. Even if it's splashing in, there's a lot in this set that works on a lot of teams, and there's a lot on the set that works in its own. That's going to be really great in the competitive game. So I'm really hoping that I was able to help you guys get an idea of what to look at in the Uncanny X-Men set. There's a little bit more, but we haven't quite finished all of our trades, and waiting to get some of those figures in hand, so I can't really show them off to you, but check out Sugarman, another really good one, worth taking a gander at. Until then, guys, as always, make sure when you're looking at your figures, checking it all out, build those teams, and get in the practice, because practice does make your team better. So one of the perks of working from home is that while Amber is editing in the computer, which is right next to me, I get to hear my blunders during my Metafix videos. And this particular one, I forgot to mention probably one of the most important characters in the Uncanny X-Men set. And I'm just placing this down. You get to see my face at its worst possible angle and then the top of my head. That is, of course, Proteus. Now, Proteus won't be making a lot of noise at his 200-point dial. That's just not how you're going to see him. Where you're going to see him is equipped to teams. And by teams, I mean you're going to start with one character at 35 points, and then you're going to give +1 to the next one after that character dies, and then the next one until Proteus decides to show up on his last click. His last click, of course, having 4 damage, 11 attack, with Pulse Wave and Probability Control on it, and he can only take damage from close combat attacks, and of course, because it comes with the wording stop, that also means that power can't be ignored or countered. Meaning that when you kills things and then Proteus eventually finds his way onto the board, you are now stuck with a guy you can only kill in close combat. And no, there is no easy out with the Pulse Wave this time. So, on that note, it was worth mentioning, as I forgot, Proteus is going to be a character who's very noisy in the Uncanny X-Men set in the metagame. Because he's an equip effect that will go through the whole team before it's done. And even when it's done, it leaves a character behind that is going to be discussing. On that note, thank you guys. Have a good night.
The opinions and thoughts brought to you in Metafix are not meant for the casual game at the table.
Married with Clix is brought to you in part by MajesticCCG.com. Check out the new premium site with MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders. Check the link below. Trust me. Trying to remember that from me talking? Not going to help. You'll get awesome articles at $3 a month, with the first month being free, from amazing writers such as Paris Gordon, Easton Brock, Aaron Cantu. I'm even going to be contributing occasionally. And if you're familiar with the Meta Lab, check out some of Mike Payne's articles. So, check it out again, MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders for your look into the minds of some of the greats.